You felt rejected when that opportunity vanished, but you were actually being rescued. If you keep trying to force open a deadbolt door, you'll miss the wide open portal right beside you. Today, you'll learn the 3 signs that prove your delay is actually a setup for glory. My child, I know the sound that door made when it closed. To others, it may have looked like an ordinary disappointment. To you, it felt personal. It felt like another answer delayed, another hope embarrassed, another reminder that what you wanted can disappear without warning. You questioned yourself. You questioned your timing. You wondered whether you had missed me. Listen closely. I am not speaking to shame you for grieving what ended. I am speaking to help you recognize what was being protected while you were calling it rejection. Before this message ends, I will show you the logic of the limit, the hidden traps you could not see, the quiet preparation happening in the waiting, and 3 signs that reveal when I am redirecting your steps. Stay with me. There is a difference between a door closed by fear and a door closed by mercy, and today I am teaching you how to discern the difference without panic. Comment "Ratty" if you are willing to stop worshiping the closed door and begin listening for the next faithful step. Do not write it because you feel no grief. Write it because you are willing to move with me even while your feelings are catching up. You were frustrated when the plans fell apart last minute. You had pictured how it might go. You had already imagined the relief, the recognition, the security, the conversation, the signature, the relationship, or the new beginning. Then something shifted. The message did not come. The answer was no. The person changed. The agreement failed. The timing collapsed. You felt humiliated inside. You wondered why hope keeps asking you to stand up, only to leave you feeling exposed. You told yourself not to expect too much next time. You began lowering desire so disappointment would have less room to hurt you. I saw that quiet closing inside you. You may have called it maturity, but part of it was protection. You began guarding your heart by expecting less from life, less from people, and sometimes less from me. My child, I do not despise your disappointment. A closed door can still hurt, even when it protects you. A redirection can still feel like loss, even when it preserves your peace. You are allowed to grieve what you wanted while trusting that I see more than you see. Both can be true. The first thing I need you to understand is the logic of the limit. A limit is not always punishment. Sometimes a limit is mercy with a boundary around it. A no can be sacred. It can protect your body from a pace you could not sustain. It can protect your family from a demand that looked impressive but would have consumed your presence. It can protect your faith from an environment that would have slowly pulled you away from truth. You wanted access, I was guarding alignment. You wanted the shortcut, I was preserving the foundation. You wanted the approval. I was protecting you from depending on a voice that could never name your worth correctly. A limit feels cruel when you only measure it by what it prevents. But a sacred limit must also be measured by what it protects. I closed some spaces because your future could not grow safely there. Not every closed door is divine intervention. Sometimes human choices, injustice, poor planning, fear, or broken systems are involved. I do not ask you to call every painful outcome holy. I ask you to bring every painful outcome into my hands where even what hurt you can be redirected. That distinction matters. I can redeem what I did not author. I can protect you through what confused you. I can use a refusal, delay, or disruption to guide your steps without approving every harmful thing someone did. I am wiser than the door. Pause now. Place your hand over your heart and repeat this. Delay is not denial. Say it slowly. Let the sentence separate your future from one temporary outcome. Delay is not denial. A door closing does not mean your life stopped. It means your discernment must deepen. It means you must ask better questions than, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this protecting? Ask, what is this revealing? Ask, what is this revealing? Ask, what is still open with peace? These questions will keep you from turning disappointment into identity. Stay with me, because what comes next will help you understand the hidden traps you could not see from where you stood. You could see the opportunity, but you could not see the full cost. You could see the invitation, but not the private pressure behind it. You could see the person's charm, but not the pattern that would have drained your spirit over time. I see what is hidden. There were things on that path that would have cost you more than you realized, not always in dramatic ways. Sometimes the danger was slow, a slow compromise, a slow exhaustion, a slow distance from prayer, a slow tolerance of disrespect, a slow silence around your own needs. Some traps look like blessings at first. They come with urgency, flattery, pressure, and just enough possibility to make you ignore your uneasiness. They make you feel chosen while quietly requiring you to abandon yourself. I loved you too much to let the trap remain disguised. You thought the delay was bad luck. You thought the last-minute cancellation was embarrassment. You thought the unanswered message meant you were unwanted. But sometimes silence is exposure. Sometimes a delay reveals impatience in another person. Sometimes a closed door reveals how much you were depending on one outcome to prove your worth. Sometimes disappointment reveals that you were about to enter something from desperation instead of peace. This is not condemnation, it is revelation. I am showing you what needs healing before the next step. If one closed door makes you feel worthless, then the door had too much authority over your identity. If one person's no makes you feel invisible, then your worth needs deeper rooting in me. That is not failure, that is an invitation. There were moments when you prayed, God, block anything not meant for me. But when I allowed the block, you accused me of being absent. You asked for protection, then mourned the fence. I understand. Protection can feel like rejection when the heart is attached. This is why discernment requires humility. You must admit that your desire is real, but not always complete. You must admit that what looks open may not be assigned. You must admit that what looks delayed may still be under construction. You are not meant to follow every road simply because it appears. Think of a plane circling the airport. It is not lost. It is waiting for a clear runway. From inside the cabin, circling can feel frustrating. You are close, but not landing. You can see the destination, but cannot touch it. That is not failure. It is safety. The pilot sees weather, traffic, and conditions you cannot evaluate from your seat. A rushed landing could endanger what patience protects. Some of you are circling, not because you are forgotten, but because the runway is not clear yet. I am not wasting your fuel. I am coordinating what you cannot see. Breathe here. The waiting feels messy because transition often looks like chaos before it settles into order. Pieces move before the picture appears. Relationships shift before belonging becomes clear. Plans unravel before purpose receives a better shape. Do not glue the old pieces together just because scattered pieces frighten you. Let me rearrange. Now I will show you what is being built in the waiting. Quiet preparation rarely feels spiritual while it is happening. It feels ordinary. It feels slow. It feels like small obedience without visible reward. But beneath the surface, strength is being formed. You are learning to stop confusing urgency with assignment. You are learning to ask for counsel before signing your piece away. You are learning to notice when your body loses calm around certain options. You are learning that not every opportunity deserves access to your life. That is preparation. You are learning to grieve without returning. You are learning to desire without demanding. You are learning to plan without making the plan your God. That is preparation too. When the door closed, it exposed what was still attached to the old path. Perhaps pride was attached. Perhaps fear was attached. Perhaps the need to prove yourself was attached. I did not expose it to shame you. I exposed it to free you. A person cannot walk cleanly into a new season while dragging every old agreement behind them. The waiting room is often where those attachments are named. You have been asking for direction, but I am also forming capacity. Direction without capacity becomes pressure. Capacity without direction becomes restlessness. I am developing both. This is why your current season may feel slow. Slow does not always mean stuck. A seed underground is not inactive. A foundation beneath a house is not wasted because nobody sees it. A hidden root is doing necessary work before the fruit appears. Your hidden obedience matters. The prayer you keep praying matters. The boundary you maintain matters. The resume you update matters. The treatment you continue matters. The budget you finally face matters. These actions may feel small. They are building readiness. Some of you are being prepared emotionally. You would have entered the old door too hungry for validation. You might have accepted crumbs and called them provision. You might have tolerated disrespect because the opportunity looked rare. Now you are learning your worth. Some of you are being prepared practically. You need structure, skill, documents, savings, rest, training, or counsel before the next opening becomes sustainable. Preparation is love. I do not want to place you where the blessing becomes another breakdown. This is why the waiting has included correction. Not rejection, correction. I have been adjusting your pace, your motives, your expectations, your boundaries, and your ability to hear truth. You are not being held back without purpose. You are being made ready. Write this declaration now. I am being prepared, not abandoned. Let it become an answer to the part of you that feels left behind. Now I will give you the 3 signs of a shift. These signs will help you discern whether a new path is forming beside the closed one. The first sign is peace with release. You may still feel sadness about what ended, but a deeper part of you stops needing that exact door to validate your life. The grief remains, yet the desperation loosens. That is important. When a door closes and you cannot release it at all, your vision becomes trapped. You keep staring at the handle, replaying what happened, imagining how to force it, wondering whether one more message, one more explanation, or one more attempt will change everything. Sometimes persistence is faith. Sometimes persistence is refusal to accept protection. Discern the difference. Peace, with release, does not always arrive immediately. It may grow slowly. One day, you notice that the old opportunity no longer owns your morning. You can pray without bargaining. You can remember without collapsing. You can say, I wanted that, but I trust you beyond that. This is the first sign. The second sign is holy friction. Holy friction is the inner resistance that appears when you try to return to something I am moving you beyond. It is not anxiety alone. Anxiety is often loud, circular, and fear-driven. Holy friction is quieter. It feels like a check in your spirit, a loss of settled peace, a steady awareness that the old path no longer fits. Do not ignore it. You may try to revive the old plan, but your peace does not return. You may try to reconnect with the old pattern, but your body remembers the cost. You may try to say yes, but your spirit keeps whispering, not this way. That friction can be guidance. Test it with wisdom. Ask whether the resistance is rooted in fear, trauma, pride, or genuine discernment. Seek counsel when the decision is serious. Look for fruit, timing, and alignment. I do not ask you to become impulsive. I ask you to become attentive. The third sign is aligned opening. An aligned opening is not always easy, glamorous, or immediate. It may be smaller than the door you wanted. It may require humility. It may begin as a conversation, a resource, a name, a class, a form, or a narrow path. But it carries alignment. It does not require you to betray truth. It does not demand secrecy that violates wisdom. It does not feed your ego while starving your soul. It may stretch you, but it does not require self-abandonment. Look for peace, truth, wise timing, and responsibility together. That is alignment. A bright door without peace is not automatically mine. A narrow path with clarity may be more assigned than the impressive opening you lost. Do not despise narrow. The path that leads to life is not always the path with the most applause. Sometimes it begins quietly because I am protecting the formation before the visibility. Peace with release. Holy friction. Aligned opening. These are 3 signs of a shift. Now type ready if you are willing to stop forcing the old road and begin discerning the next faithful path. Let that word mean you are available for release, attentive to holy friction, and open to aligned doors. If this message is helping you understand divine redirection, like this video and subscribe to stay connected with future words that strengthen transition, discernment, and peace. Stay because seasons of change require repeated truth before fear convinces you to return to what no longer fits. Now I will give you the directional discernment flowchart. Use it when a door closes, a plan changes, or transition becomes confusing. Begin with the first question. What actually happened? Write only the facts. The job offer ended. The relationship paused. The meeting was canceled. The payment was delayed. The door did not open. Do not add interpretation yet. Facts create ground. The second question is, what story am I telling myself? This is where you identify the emotional meaning you attached. I am unwanted. I always lose. God is ignoring me. I am behind. Nothing works for me. Bring the story into the light. The story may feel true because it is painful, but pain does not guarantee accuracy. Many false stories sound convincing when disappointment is fresh. The third question is, what might this be protecting? Do not force an answer. Consider possibilities: peace, integrity, health, timing, family, finances, future capacity, emotional stability, a hidden danger, a misaligned connection. Protection may become clearer later. Leave room for mystery. The fourth question is, what is being revealed in me? This question requires courage. Is there desperation, pride, fear of being unseen, dependence on approval, avoidance of responsibility, a need for rest? Let revelation become healing. Do not weaponize it against yourself. The fifth question is, what remains open with peace? Look around without panic. What door still has integrity? What option carries clarity? What small step can be taken without forcing? Often the next path is not dramatic, it is responsible. The sixth question is, what counsel or information do I need? If the matter involves money, health, law, employment, housing, safety, or trauma, seek qualified help. Prayer does not cancel the need for wise guidance. I can lead you through people, documents, appointments, and practical support. Do not confuse isolation with faith. The seventh question is, what is my next faithful action? One action, not the entire future. Make the call, rest, apply, decline, apologize, research, wait, ask, prepare, take the step, then release the outcome. This flow chart keeps you from spiraling. It turns disappointment into discernment. It helps you move from reaction to guidance. Use it on paper if possible. Closed doors become louder when they stay trapped in your head. Writing creates distance between the event and the identity wound. You are not the closed door. You are my child walking through transition. Now I need to correct the habit of forcing. Forcing often comes from fear disguised as faith. You push because you are afraid nothing else will come. You pressure people because you fear being forgotten. You over-explain because you fear being misunderstood. You hurry because silence feels unsafe. Forcing does not create fruit. It creates exhaustion. When I open a door, I may still require courage, effort, preparation, and perseverance. But I will not require you to sin against your peace, violate your values, or destroy your body to enter it. A door from me may challenge you. It will not require you to become false. If you have to manipulate, hide, beg, compromise truth, or abandon wisdom to keep it open, stop and examine it. That may not be assignment. It may be attachment. Attachment says, I cannot live unless this works. Assignment says, I will obey with open hands. Attachment panics when delayed. Assignment remains steady while seeking wisdom. Ask yourself honestly, am I obeying or am I gripping? This question can save you. If you are gripping, release does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop treating the outcome as your source. I am your source. Not that opportunity, not that person, not that platform, not that approval. When source and door become confused, every closed door feels like death. When I remain your source, a closed door becomes painful but not final. This is freedom. You can knock with faith and still trust me if it remains closed. You can grieve without building your identity around the refusal. You can move forward without calling the past meaningless. Do not force deadbolt doors. They exhaust your hands. Look for the narrow light beside you. Sometimes the new path begins with less drama than the old one. It may not flatter your ego. It may not match the picture you built, but it will carry peace. Follow peace with wisdom, not comfort alone. Sometimes peace leads into difficult obedience. It may ask you to apologize, start over, study, rebuild, or wait, but even difficult obedience has a settled center. That center is my presence. Stay with me, because there is another layer of redirection. Sometimes the detour is not only about where you are going, it is about who you are becoming on the way. You asked me for an outcome. I am also shaping your responses. You wanted a destination. I am teaching discernment, patience, resilience, humility, and courage. These are not side lessons. They are part of the inheritance. A person who cannot receive no without collapsing will struggle to steward yes without fear. A person who cannot wait without self-hatred will carry anxiety into every new room. A person who cannot release what ended will be unavailable for what is beginning. This is why detours matter. They reveal what still governs you. Do you trust me only when the route is straight? Do you believe you are loved only when doors open quickly? Do you measure my nearness by convenience? Let the detour answer honestly. Not to condemn you, to root you deeper. There were Israelites who left Egypt physically but carried Egypt in their thinking. Freedom happened externally before it became internal. They needed more than an open sea. They needed a transformed identity. Some of you have left the old situation but still think like someone trapped by it. You are physically out, but emotionally waiting for the same rejection to repeat. I'm healing that too. The detour is not just moving you away from danger. It is teaching your inner world how to walk as someone guided, not chased. You are not being chased by failure. You are being led by love. That change may take time. Be patient with the parts of you that still flinch. They learned fear honestly. Now they must learn safety through repeated truth. When the old panic rises, say, "This closed door is not my identity." I will ask what is being protected, revealed, and opened. That sentence brings you back to discernment. You may need to say it often. That is okay. Repetition can become rerouting. Now let us talk about the dark path and the narrow bright path. The dark path is not always obviously evil. Sometimes it is simply misaligned. It looks attractive because it promises quick relief, immediate validation, or the feeling of control. But the fruit is heavy. You lose sleep. You lose honesty. You begin hiding details from wise people. You feel pressure to become someone else to keep access. That is a warning. The bright path may be narrow. It may require patience, humility, and obedience that nobody applauds. But it allows your soul to breathe. It keeps truth intact. It lets you move slowly without self-betrayal. Choose the path with integrity, not always the path with instant reward. Some rewards are traps when received too early or through the wrong door. Some delays are mercy because they keep you from inheriting a burden before your structure can hold it. I am not withholding goodness to torment you. I am guiding you toward life. If the closed door involved a relationship, do not immediately assume you are unlovable. Ask what the relationship was producing. Did it honor truth? Did it respect timing? Did it require you to shrink? If the closed door involved work, do not immediately assume your value was rejected. Ask what environment was being prevented. Ask what skill, rest, document, or connection needs preparation. If the closed door involved money, do not assume provision ended. Ask what plan, counsel, habit, or support may now become necessary. Every no can become a question of wisdom, not a sentence of shame. This is how transition becomes holy. You stop reacting like life is over and begin listening for guidance inside the disruption. You are learning to discern direction, not just desire. Desire says, I want this. Direction asks, does this lead where God is forming me? Desire can be beautiful, but it needs discernment. Direction protects desire from becoming an idol. Bring me both. Bring desire without pretending you do not care. Bring discernment without becoming cold. Say, Father, I wanted that door, and I trust you beyond it. That is honest faith. The next message will address how to rebuild courage after a closed door made you afraid to try again. I will show you how to take the next step without carrying rejection into every future opportunity. Stay near. Before you leave, comment ready. Let it mean you are ready to stop forcing, ready to discern, ready to release, and ready to walk the path that carries peace. Now complete the flow chart. What happened? What story are you telling? What might be protected? What is being revealed? What remains open with peace? What counsel is needed? What is the next faithful action? Do not glue the old pieces back together because the new canvas feels unfamiliar. Let me rearrange. Let the stop sign protect you. Let the narrow light guide you. Let the closed door lose its power over your identity. You were not rejected by my love. You were redirected by my wisdom. You are not trapped. You are being led. You are not late. You are being prepared. Walk slowly. Listen deeply. The portal beside you may be quieter than the door behind you, but it carries life. Follow me there.